Namaste Bharat and warm greetings to everyone. I welcome you all to this third episode of Delphic Talks, Delphic Dialogues. Now, what exactly is Delphic? Delphic Games of the modern era involves presentations, exhibitions, competitions, and other activities in 6 different fields of art. Inspired by the Delphic Games of ancient Greece, the International Delphic Council IDC, with headquarters in Berlin, was founded in 1994. Since 1995, the IDC actively supports the creation of the National Delphic organizations. The IDC is a voluntary, non-profit, non-political, non-religious global organization that works to foster harmony amongst people through engagements in the various art forms and cultural identities that manifest them through the Delphic Games. The Indian Council for Delphic Games plans to take this movement to every artist, art lover, various stakeholders, and government bodies in India by promoting all the art categories. Education here proves to be a catalyst in enabling enhancement of this pure intention. Thus, to reach every nook and corner of the country, Delphic Council is integrating education, especially school education, to escalate its ambitions. And on behalf of this Delphic Council of Maharashtra, we have started Delphic Dialogue, which is a modest effort by Delphic Council of Maharashtra to create awareness and ebullience amongst all the citizens of India to recognize, revive, respect, and restore our rich heritage of art and culture in our country. The interactive sessions with experts will involve enlightenment and integration of the same in our education sector. So do tune into our weekly program to enrich and enjoy the exciting and educative discussions. Carrying forward with this third episode of Delphic Dialogue, today we are here to discuss about art and culture in professional success. And today we have with us an alumna of NCERT's Regional Institute of Education, formerly known as Regional College of Education, Bhubaneswar, Ms. Shubhra Verma, a college topper and distinct holder during her graduation, a scholarship recipient for her exemplary academic achievements in college and school and college. She is a management postgraduate, having specialized in marketing. She successfully completed her summer training at Greaves Limited on the topic pre-launch market survey for Hilti schools. A career spanning for more than 2 decades, she began working in Delhi in 1997. She has had a diverse experience in the field of education, research, as well as the corporate sector at Delhi, Haryana, and Mumbai. And having worked with big corporates like Wipro and Citibank, as well as the famous educational institutions like the Bluebells International, Podar International School, Vipgoir Group, Narayana E-Techno School, Sunglow International School, Thakur Group of Schools, Masonic Public School, Lovely Public School, Dorrance, Kendra Vidyalaya, etc. Her experience got her an unparalleled exposure to how schools are run and managed qualitatively and what should be the future of education in a young and fast growing economy like India. Her stint with an NGO NEEP funded by Azim Premji Foundation has been her career high point and landmark and can easily be called the most satisfying of her career moves. She's been associated with famous Teach India movement that gathered momentum a few years back, teaching spoken English and grammar to underprivileged students aged 16 to 32 in order to make them job ready. A highly focused, committed academician with a proven track record, she's been really a great counselor for students with a good command over English language and communication skills. Greatly appreciated and applauded by her student and parent communities for her commendable teaching and mentoring skills. She finds nurturing teenagers is not just a profession, but also a passion and hobby. The guiding philosophy behind all these endeavors, Ms. Verma has been an educationist at all cost to everyone. And in like food and water, education is a necessity and not a luxury for her. So today it's actually a matter of pride to have her with us. And I would like to, before I welcome Ms. Shubhra Verma, I would like to say that, on when we started connecting for Delphic Dialogues, we discovered that we were in the same college and in the same year. So she's a kind of a batchmate, college mate, and it's really a privilege to have her here today on Delphic Dialogues. Yes, Ms. Shubhra Verma. how do you feel to be here at Delphic Dialogues, and what is all like your experience about it?
Thank you, Ms. Paramita, for such a wonderful introduction you gave of me to our viewers today. And I'm sincerely privileged and honored to be on your show today. I definitely am so glad to meet you after years. I had no idea we would bump into each other professionally at such a level. And I'm really, really thankful to the social media for connecting us. And definitely, I am honestly a very proud alumna of my college. I would like to keep the flag high of our school, of our college, and of our professors and teachers who've given me so much beyond textbooks to be able to relate to the people of India and abroad through this council to my students, my teachers, my colleagues, my siblings, my relatives, everyone here. So definitely that confidence definitely comes from the fact that I am an ex-student of this college, this very prestigious college. Way back in 95, it's a long time now. You can call me the last century student, a 20th century student, but a 21st century teacher. So yes, with the turn of the century, we've seen so many events and happenings around us change drastically. Yes, and Delphic Council of Maharashtra is doing a wonderful job when it comes to connecting cultures through art and also promoting art in a way uh, that the platform of education can take it further. So I am really lucky to be called or considered to be part of this council and to be able to promote whatever ideology it sticks to, especially with art and culture. Yes, thank you very much, Ms. Paramita, for giving me this opportunity. I'm sincerely honored and privileged to be here.
It's actually definitely a matter of pride also for us, because having somebody, with such a wide range of experience, I would say that is really something that we look forward to having in our show. And to carry on, of course, as an alumni of one of the most prestigious colleges, I would say, because I am also from the same college, being the same year, and we've had a very rigorous training in B.Ed and all. We've done so much of an education. So, what do you think that can be done to train the teachers so that they can integrate art and culture into education?
A lot of things NCRT and CBSE is actually doing. They're giving a lot of training to our teachers. And in fact, part of our curriculum is art integrated projects in all schools. We have it. So definitely, consciously, the government of India and CBSE is trying to inculcate among our next generation, because most of our next generation are totally cut off from what we had as a very glorious past of India. We need to re-educate them. We need to re-enlighten them, the lost glory of the country. I think there is no better medium than school education to make the 21st century children connect with the previous centuries of glory, lost glory, and glory regained. So there is a series of education which can be incorporated in school curriculum, and definitely education is probably the only means and only tool to bring about massive change in the way people look at their own culture and regain the pride, I would say, the lost pride. A lot number of years we were under the British rule, and they have crushed our culture, crushed the art of India, the weavers, the rich heritage of India has been totally at a loss, I would say, and they have been, the economy has been crushed, which was based on art and culture. An Indian economy which was there before the British rule was totally based on art and culture. Okay, when it comes to the weavers of India, the textile designers of India, with the 24% of world's GDP we shared, and then now when they left India, they had almost depleted, ruined a lot of our art and culture. They have taken away artifacts, pieces which we were proud of, like the Kohinoor, for example. Many good things of India has been taken away, stolen away, snatched away. You may call it whatever you want to. Yes, we have been robbed of our culture. We have been told that our culture is secondary to any other culture in the world. We have been told, we have been taught methodically, we have been taught the English culture is better than the Indian culture. Now it's time, it's high time, 75 years of independence. This is the 75th year of our independence. We must bring back that glory. What we have lost, it takes time. It will not happen overnight. One chapter in a book cannot teach. There has to be a series of events, and Delphic Council and any such platform or council which is consciously working towards bringing that culture and art to our lives and helping children to inculcate a sense of pride in their own culture. Instead of looking towards the West, let them look inwards towards themselves, towards their own past.
Yeah,
and
that's
feel
right.
proud.
That's right. That's right. That, it's like reviving our culture and all. That's absolutely fine. And as teachers, when we are into this field of education, as teachers, we have a lot to offer in this field. Now, when we talk about professions, we've been in a very professional college. There are a lot of professions. Of course, we know that there are a lot of professions, and teaching is one profession which we could say is the mother of all other professions. So, do you think that as a part of this professional course that I'm talking about, B.Ed, we've both been in the same college. We know how different B.Ed and regional college is. And do you think that as a part of this, like in the B.Ed course, when we train teachers, is there something that we can do, something extra, so that we can, motivate or guide the teachers to take up teaching of art and culture as a part of the process in the course of teaching? We have a lot of things in teaching practically.
See, one thing when we are talking about school education, this is the time, especially in the higher sections, higher classes, teachers have to be counselors. Sometimes career counseling is a major part. A lot of parents nowadays, they come to us, ma'am, we want our child to be able to choose the career which suits him the most, which will make him flourish or her flourish the most in future. So obviously, when we are talking about so many aspects of career counseling, definitely we can train our teachers to talk about myriad ways in which art and culture can be taught, and that can be made into a profession, not just taught. It can become a lucrative profession for most of them. For example, now, of course, the 21st century generation is more into computers. They're more into software development and stuff like that. We have unheard of professions in various fields. A person like me, I was not even aware, let me tell you. Now, with career counseling flooding our lives in such a major way, I have seen counselors talking about an interior designer's course, fashion designing, fashion designing was still there for quite some time, yes. Arts administrator, art restoration, muralist, painter, comic artist, graphic designer, animation programmer, you name it. There are many ways which we actually connect to art. Okay, and definitely if a teacher says, let me tell you, the teacher's word is the final word for a lot of children. Yes. So if the teachers can be told how effectively they can influence a child. I think there was some network failure.
Yeah.
At my end.
Okay, yeah. Good to see you back. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. So we have like textile designing, ceramic designing, we have film, television, there's art everywhere. There's art everywhere. So I'm sure if teachers can be told or made aware of the myriad ways in which art encompasses our lives, engulfs us. For example, even if you go and buy a...
I think, Ms. Shubhra, there's some network error at your end. To carry on with what she was saying, that Ms. Shubhra has been highlighting about the fact that yes, professions, definitely they can be affected by art and culture, because there are a lot of professions which are there. Ms. Shubhra, are you there? So there are a lot of professions which are there, which
There's some
are related. Yes, please.
some network issue.
I think some network issue is there from her end. Uh,
There was some network issue, madam.
yeah, please. Is it okay? Are you there available?
Your voice, yeah, your voice is not clear. It's cracking. It's breaking in between.
Okay, am I audible to you right now? Yes, am I audible?
I could not hear you clearly.
Yeah, ma'am. Am I audible now? Am I audible to you now? Your video is actually not on, so maybe we are not able to see you also. So I guess you were talking about the number of professions. Yes, very true. There are a lot of professions, as we were just discussing, where art and culture does play a very, very impactful role, I would say, because it's about plenty of professions which have been neglected in the past and which we have not given much importance to, and all these professions can very much be revived. So, Ms. Verma, are you there? I think Ms. Verma has some network issue and has logged out. We'll just wait for her to log in. And meanwhile, carrying forward this, I would say that, she's been talking about a lot of professions. And when we talk about art and culture and professions, definitely art and culture is definitely going to impact professions. And we were just discussing about teaching as a teacher and, and as how teaching impacts these professions, because teaching is supposed to be the mother of all professions. Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
can you
good
hear
to
me
see you.
now?
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah, so good to have you back here. And so as we were discussing
Really
about,
sorry.
it's fine,
There was some
absolutely.
network.
Yeah, we are all, victims of this network issue. So I guess that everybody who's watching us would know that this is something which is not in our control.
Yeah, I'm really
Absolutely.
sorry about it.
Absolutely
Really
fine.
sorry.
So you were talking about the different professions which are there, and my question was that how can teaching impact all these professions? And as an educator, as a leader, you said that how we can counsel and we can, tell the children about the different professions, right? If you could carry on, please.
Yeah. Right. So I will advise teachers to train themselves first. There are lots of free trainings available by CBSE to make them aware. First of all, teachers themselves have to upgrade so that they can imbibe that in their regular teaching, regular classroom teaching, and interaction with students. They can appreciate. For example, if a child, we have so many activities every month, 1 or 2 activities the school does, and if a child is very artistic in the way he presents, he may not be academically very sound, but he may be an excellent artist, an excellent singer, an excellent dancer. So I'm sure these are things. There are many more, and these are just a few of it. Nowadays, children do wonderful stuff on multimedia. There are lots of children doing web designing. There are lots of children doing a lot of, there are YouTubers. That is an art, and the art of talking, the art of presenting yourself, the art of connecting with people of different, I would say, backgrounds, different cultures. So I'm sure if a teacher has a very inclusive mentality in her classroom, definitely that will go a long way. They can definitely make sure children are more tolerant, to accept culture, to accept the art of different forms of art of other parts of the, not just the country, of the whole world. Every culture has its variety, has its richness, and I'm sure as teachers we can do a wonderful job. For example, if I have worked in big cities like Delhi and Mumbai, where the one, I'm so sorry. So where the problem is, we have not a problem, I would say it's a benefit, it's an advantage, where we have people of different cultures, people of various corners of the world, and even uh, various parts of India. Parents get transferred, they come to big cities, and for 3 years they've studied in one school, one part of the country. For another 3 years, the parents move. So it's an amalgamation of so many cultures. I remember in my graduation days, regional college itself, we had people from Port Blair, we had people from Nagaland, we had people from Sikkim.
Yes, very
My own
we had all,
roommates.
yes, exactly.
Yes. So don't you think, had our teachers
Absolutely.
differentiated?
Yes.
Like most of our teachers were from Odisha.
Yes.
But never did I feel, though I was not from Odisha, honestly, I never felt they differentiated. They were partial about.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely. It was
that
like a
is
mini country, mini India
the
there itself.
country.
Yes,
Yes,
very true,
yes.
very true.
So I had never been, I've never, I that till that point of time, I was almost 17 and a half years when I joined college. I had not seen a person from Sikkim. I had not met a person. So the first year itself, I was made to stay in the hostel. Of course, we didn't have a choice. Everyone wants their comfort zone. But
Yes.
despite not being a comfort zone, I learned gradually how good they are. They learned gradually how good we are. So I had my best friend was from Odisha. He was a day scholar. And believe me, I went when I used to go to her house, the kind of saris her mom wore, because in B.Ed we used to wear, we were supposed to wear
Yes,
sari.
we were
I
to
fell in
support
love with
marriage.
their collection.
Mm.
Of course, sari is part of our culture. Different colors and hues and patterns of saris all over India is our culture. So
Exactly.
right now, if you ask me, I can easily wear a sari of a particular state and impress the person of that place. So that is culture. I have used
The
it.
ethnic wear, of course, of every part. Definitely. That's a pride. Yeah. True.
That's
I
my
agree.
pride. So I like giving honor to all such cultures. When I visited Kerala, I especially went to a shop and picked up Set Mundu as a sari, which it's like in a sari form, but not exactly a sari. So I like wearing it. When I have friends from Kerala in Mumbai, they were very happy to note that, okay, this is what, and believe me, if you go to any place for an interview, yeah, you talk about that culture, you instantly connect with that person. You know what you're talking about. You're
Yeah,
not
that
lying.
is exactly. And that is the reason, Delphic has actually started come up with two competitions for people all over. One is about, art and art, drawing and painting. Another one is about classical dance and all. This is just to explore the different parts and come out with the rich culture that we have. If you remember that, we had people from Sikkim, Manipur, Shillong and all, and we would love to see the
Blair,
kind of
I
ethnic
never
wear.
knew.
Port Blair, yes, yes.
Port Blair, yes.
Sure, Port Blair. So variety, we have actually seen and learned in college what diversity is, what unity is, and the things that we talk about unity and diversity and culture, we've actually seen it. And I guess that people who have passed out from this college, they have actually had a clear view about how to, spread culture and how to bring about in education and all. So when we talk about professions, like in the number of professions that you said, and suppose we have skilled artisans or somebody who's very skilled in dancing particular trade. Even if you see, you were talking about ethnic wear, saris and all, there are people, even in Orissa, you would know people are there with handicraft and all, they're very skilled, pottery and all. But what we
Pipli
find
work.
is
You
that
remember the Pipli work, which was so
Pipli work,
famous.
yes, very famous Chandwa Pipli work
Filigree,
and all that.
silver
Filigree.
filigree work.
Silver filigree also, yes. And I also happen to be from Orissa and I see all those things. But what happens is the people who are skilled in these professions, they there is somewhere down the legacy is not getting carried out. Like, there is, it's a dead end, I feel now, because we don't find any more young people coming up with this particular, to keep this trade
Yes.
alive. So do you think that through education, as educationists, can we revive this vibrant culture and and make it professionally acceptable to the country and the world?
Correct. Yes. In fact, I've done it. I would like to share my personal experience.
Mm-hmm.
This was in the year 2014 when I joined Podar International School in Mumbai, Powai branch. And I was teaching social science to the
Okay.
students of grade 6.
Mm-hmm.
Grade 6. That was a new school. They did not have 8, 9, 10. So they have a chapter in the textbook regarding different states, their food, their dress, their language, their festivals, everything. So what I decided as part of that freedom was given by my principal. I must thank her for that. So I came up with this idea: how do I integrate that into regular teaching? And that chapter, instead of just rote learning and learning certain facts and mugging up, I turned my entire class into, there were, luckily, out of 40 children, uh, almost every single state, I think only Nagaland was left out or something. One or two states were left out. Because it was Mumbai, children from almost every state were studying there. It was such a cosmopolitan culture that we had. They were very happy to wear. One day we decided, I took the permission of the principal. We decided every child will represent their state. We had a child from Jammu and Kashmir. We had a child from Kerala. We had Karnataka, Rajasthan, you name it. Almost all the major states were covered, including Sikkim, right? And they all wore. I asked them to wear the clothes of that particular state. Use the language. Say, for example, Namaskar, Aapka Swagat hai, welcome. So that they learned. Some of the children did not know their own mother tongue. So they learned it for that event. They told their parents to teach them. And they actually came to the school dressed up in their attire. Okay, such colorful, vibrant attire. And they brought the food which was cooked by their mother or father or themselves.
Wonderful, wonderful.
It was such a massively successful event, I cannot tell you. And it went on because that was the first year. It was carried on as a legacy on all the years. So I worked there only for three and a half years, but it was, and all the teachers were invited. The same children went around the whole school, inviting the teachers. We allotted 2 periods continuously after the lunchtime, and all teachers came. They tasted even if a bit of it, the way they served, whether it's a banana leaf or whatever, everything was authentic Indian culture. Their attire, to their language, to the food, to everything that they did. And it was marvelous. There were children who even performed. They took my permission, though it was not in the initial plan. They even performed the dance. They sang the traditional song.
Particular place.
It was amazing, I'm telling you. I thoroughly enjoyed, and with me, every teacher in the school. The parents were surprised that we could do it. And believe me, we were loaded with compliments.
Oh, that's
so
wonderful.
I think teachers can do it. Teachers can make a difference. This is one. You can think of many other ways of doing it. We must do it. We must encourage children. And they were so happy. They learned from each other. They learned, okay, this is momos and this is uttapam and this, there are many varieties of food, rich. Puran Poli of Maharashtra. I had never tasted, let me tell you. I didn't know what was Puran Poli till I landed into Maharashtra way back in 2006. And the bindi that I'm wearing is a Maharashtrian style bindi. So this is what we talk about, integration of art and culture.
True, very true, very true. Very true. That is wonderful, these kind of activities, and this is how learning continues and we learn about art and culture. Now, coming to professions again, I was talking about the professions like pottery, handicraft, like we talked about Pipli, and we talked about that filigree of these professions seem to be diminishing from the society, We love the product, but nobody wants to embrace the trade. Nobody wants to learn it and take it up as a profession, because you will rarely get, even in food also, particular food delicacies and all which are there, whether it is ethnic wear or delicacies, these have become the professionally, they are not being taken up as profession. So how do you think that we could, ensure that the profession lives up? Because these seem to be a little dying out.
Yeah, to quite an extent, you're right. But of late, I've seen, because of the social media or the awareness being created through social media, good or bad, I don't know how far they have reached. But I think social media is doing a wonderful job in spreading about. Sometimes they might go overboard, but yes, they are trying their level best to support and also propagate the culture. We come to know about, you just Google and you search and you find out loads of information on a particular culture. And we have art integrated projects and teach. In fact, say for example, technical drawing. Okay, an artist who's good with the pencil, with the sketching, obviously he'll do wonderfully. A doctor, now you're talking about, say, the profession of being an engineer or a doctor. Say, for example, there's an art in the way even the doctor who speaks with the patient, a little child. Okay, how I remember the first time I had to undergo a surgery. The doctors of that hospital, Hiranandani Hospital, they were so nice. The way they spoke, all my fears were laid away. They said, "Ma'am, we'll put you to sleep and we'll wake you up." This is what the anesthetist, she told me. She did this. We'll put you to sleep. So that's an art. Don't you think that's an art of making
Definitely,
the patient
definitely.
so comfortable?
Yes,
First
yes,
time I'm getting
yes,
into an
exactly.
operation theater. I don't know whether I'll, all these fears, unknown fears we have, whether we'll come out alive or not, whether we are going to die in the operation theater. That put me to ease and rest. I I must say it is an art to make a patient comfortable. So the
Yes.
doctor also needs that art, the art of talking, the art of making the person feel comfortable. The doctor there, he actually drew a drawing of inside the stomach. I had stones in my gallbladder. He drew the pictures,
Okay.
the entire picture of the stomach inside. I've been an art student, so I'm not a science student, so I was not very familiar with these
What
things.
about?
He drew pictures. I was sitting with my husband and I could understand exactly what the doctor is going to do during the operation. After which, after the operation got over, I was very clear what happened. Nothing went wrong. I was so sure that I'm in good hands. That is an art. And I think every profession, the art, as a teacher, we learn how to talk to children who are difficult to handle. We learn how to talk to children who are restless, who are destructive, who are shy, who are very quiet. That's an art. And art is present in all parts of our existence in life.
True,
So
very true, very true. That's absolutely correct. That art is a part of it, and professionally, like we do in everything that we do, there is art. When we talk about children, like I was kept getting back to what I was saying. When we talk now, of course, CPS has come up with a lot of skills education where these professions and trades are going to be, revived, I would say. So normally we find, like when it comes to choosing profession, every parent in India wants their child to be into a white collar job, something MBA or an engineer or medicine and advocate, something of that kind. And it's quite clear that after 12th, if you're a science student, you go in for a NEET or you go in for engineering JE. If otherwise you go for CLAT or you go for the civil services, UPSC. This is a very clear cut. Nobody tries to think about any profession, into which is related to, I would say, art and culture or related to handicrafts, related to our uh, the dying professions that I was talking about, pottery and all this. So,
okay, I
how
think
how can we, what can we do to get it back? How to make
we
children
have
encouraged?
we have art exhibitions where the
Mhm.
artisans from all over the country are called
Mm.
to set up stalls. I myself have visited so many every year, especially during the festival season. In Mumbai, I've seen that, especially during the festival season. Every state will have stalls and they are selling their wares. The weavers are invited.
Mhm.
They, I mean, right from, I suppose, the month of July or August during Raksha Bandhan time, then Tej, and then Ganpati, and then Dashera, then Diwali. So there'll be n number of exhibitions and fairs where I've seen a lot of artisans and a lot of ladies who are, housewives, homemakers. They actually come out, put up a stall of their culture. So they get it from, like I've seen, especially during Dashera, I've seen all the traditional Bengali food, Bengali clothes are being there. The Sarvajanik Durgotsav that they do, they exhibit and people go and buy. So obviously, when there's an economy attached to it, it will grow. It will eventually grow. And now with online platforms, online mode of selling and buying, I can buy anything from any corner of the world, any corner of India. If I want to buy a Mekhla Chadar from Assam, I
Yeah,
can click a link and I get it.
yeah,
So
definitely.
yes, I value that. I want to present that. And obviously, whether it is a school or a college or any community or a cooperative housing society, when you organize such events, like I'm sure Delphi Council is organizing such events, you will. This is one way of encouraging. What else? What else can you do? You're making sure people are coming, gathering up. You're slowly putting into their heads that this is our culture. We are proud of it. The fact that it's hammered into your head that we are proud of it because it's here. There are so many facts we don't know.
Yes.
When I came to Marathwada region, right now I'm in a place, Jalna, which is very close to Aurangabad. This is Marathwada region. Before I shifted here, I did not know why was this celebrated and given a holiday. So we learn, and the pride of our vast, rich culture, when you are told through education, and education is one way we can do that very effectively.
So
We
do
can
you
show a
think
small
that if,
video
yes,
in the
yeah.
class.
Yes,
And
if we
children love
can
it.
have, if we can, call these professions, or we can have an exhibition of these professions in schools and college, especially in schools, especially for the 9thers and 10thers. If we actually have a live exhibition in schools, do you think it would really help in reviving these?
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. It will, because
Mhm.
children are learning there at a very impressionable age.
Very
Whatever
true.
they see, they will remember all their life.
Yes. When you
That
see, you
is,
remember.
that's early exposure.
Absolutely. Mhm.
Yeah, that's an early exposure given. So if you give varieties of exposure, obviously they will learn. They will not know that this is mine and that is nothing is foreign to them. They know everything.
Hmm.
So they will accept it. When you know it, you accept it.
Definitely. So, do you think that you would like to suggest anything to Delphic that, because Delphic is on his journey to, bring about this and, make people aware about this rich culture, art and culture. That is the reason that, we are having Delphic dialogue always. We're talking to experts and what more can be done. So, what do you think that what more can Delphic do? Any message for all the people in Delphic, how they could, this journey could be really carried forward and they could be really successful in it?
So if they want, they can do a tie-up with schools, or NCERT also promotes a lot of such cultural activities. Of late, I've seen NCERT and CBSE actually promoting art and culture. In the new education policy, they have made it as an option till grade 5, till the primary grades.
Mhm.
The local language, the mother tongue of the child, can be used to teach him. So that is
Yes.
one. That is obviously coming up in a big way. And I can see, when I sense people talking, parents coming to us for admissions, they're happy, they're eager about it, because most of the time English is being hammered as the only language they should learn. So I'm sure with this variety coming from the apex body, I'm sure people will accept it. And a lot of parents, a lot of small city people, they are eager for
Mhm.
this change. I can see that. And
True.
yeah, Delphic can organize it not just through school level. There are clubs like Rotary clubs, Lion Club.
Mhm.
There are many clubs which promote art and culture, which
Mhm.
promotes universal acceptance of certain things. They can do it in a big way. You can organize fashion shows where you can ensure that every state is represented, like used to have during Republic Day, the jhankis that we have.
Yes, yes, we have. That is very true. That is somewhere, all the culture, everything is exhibited. Yes.
All states used to do that in Delhi. So what else? It's just one focal point,
Mhm.
and it can grow. So we have to consciously make an effort to make children aware. The 21st century child needs to be made aware. They
Mhm.
have enormous power to accept. Let's not underestimate them. They know more than us in many ways. Just give it to them, expose
Yes,
them to it. They will learn it. That is the best time to learn. You just
exactly,
expose it,
exactly.
give them the exposure, they will learn. So
Mhm.
we should not blame the next generation. I think we should blame ourselves when we are unable to do that, when we fail to do
Right.
that.
Mhm.
The teachers should be taught first themselves to respect every culture, every
Mhm.
part of India. I think they should be taken on a country tour, and
Yes.
there should be exchange programs. In
Yeah,
fact,
yeah,
CBSE
definitely. There
started
should be.
that.
Mhm.
CBSE actually did that, I think 2-3 years back. I just came to know from a very senior and learned colleague of mine. It had started. For example, I remember Maharashtra, he mentioned that Maharashtra had to send, it was like an exchange program, interstate exchange program. Maharashtra students had to go collaborate with another, the school had to
Yes,
collaborate with
yes.
school of Orissa.
Hmm.
Orissa, and children, those children would come to Maharashtra, be here, live here, and Maharashtra children would go to Orissa. That is an excellent way of promoting.
And yes,
Sure.
even I think there was another event, you could say last year only, I think, where in the assembly you had to
We can do
speak
so many
about
such.
language. Yeah. Of any particular state language, your states are paired, and in the school assembly, you need to introduce that language, talk to people. I think these kind of things are going on. CBS is doing a great job, of course. That is true. That's
Ma'am, can you
absolutely.
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I don't know why your sound.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
better now. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So as we were discussing yesterday, it's very true that CBS has even come up with a lot of other things also. Like in the assemblies, you're supposed to learn a particular state's language, talk about it in every day in the
Yes.
assembly, one new sentence, and even the art integrated part also. No, the states were paired up. Like your
Projects.
art
All
integration.
projects are art integrated.
All yes, that is true. So this is being done, and I think that if we start doing more about it, definitely I'm sure that we will be very successful in our mission of bringing out and creating awareness about art and culture. So I guess it's really been nice talking to you, Ms. Verma, and
Same
I
here.
would say the best part is belonging to the same college, being educationists, and we really feel proud because yes, as you say, that we've been a part of a college which has been mini India, I would say. We've had friends and we've had
Yes,
people all over. So art and culture
absolutely.
absolutely, art and culture has been a part of us because we have actually lived it in our 4 years
Yes.
of studies. That is true. So it's really been wonderful and wonderful having you here on our show, and really a lot of
You.
learning. And I would say that a lot of learning and a lot of new ideas, and I'm sure the viewers who've been seeing, they've also had a feeling, and that there's a lot of things new new things on. And of course I would say that Delphic is actually trying and going along and doing it, like trying their best to make sure that we are actually successful in this endeavor of taking up the show, taking up this, art and culture to different parts of the world. I would say that the time has come where this diversity and this, this rich heritage of our country needs to be showcased and brought out, and the whole world should realize it. Now, of course, if you see that many countries have begun, adopting it, many we find that, Indian culture and Indian, this tradition is embraced all over worldwide. You'll find a lot of Western people, they take a lot of love and affection, and they have a lot of respect for the Indian culture. And
Yes,
so
absolutely.
so it's been really wonderful speaking to you, Ms. Verma, and I guess
My
wonderful to
pleasure,
you.
ma'am.
Same here, and I hope that we are going to continue with this journey, and we're going to continue this beautiful journey alive. We're going to keep it, and very soon, of course, we will see to it that Delphic in this with this Delphic dialogue, it comes up with more and more wonderful ventures. We come across more wonderful people like you, and we're very happy to have you as a part of our this beautiful Delphic Council of Maharashtra. And since you being there as one of the very good leaders in Maharashtra, I would say because I feel that principals are leaders definitely, because they lead a lot of students. So I'm sure that with your wonderful experience and your knowledge, you would definitely be doing a lot for this. And I guess that's it. And thank you so much for being with us. It's been wonderful. So
You're welcome, ma'am. Thank you too for having me here.
thank you, and we look forward to our
Thank you
next.
to Delphi.
Yeah, thank you to
Thank you
Delphi.
to Delphi Council of Maharashtra.
Thank you, Delphic. Special thanks to Delphic Council of Maharashtra for bringing us together again after years
Yes,
of college. So that's
correct.
it, and
Absolutely.
so it's been wonderful. So thank you so much, and
Thank you to all the
thank you. Thank
best to the Delphi Council of Maharashtra and all the best to your team, madam. Let's hope and meet again. Thank you.
sure,
All the
sure,
best.
definitely.